Thanks for rejoining me for this continued discussion of a fascinating conspiracy of factors. This is a series where we're looking at the current situation of the world and where I am laying out a case that suggests we are living through a dramatically exciting time, a period, a jumping off point in the evolution of human consciousness. And we're talking about the factors which lead up to that, which play into it. And we talked about the general landscape, the idea that the population is exploding, that information and technology have exploded, which changes our experience of the world. We've also talked about the fact that some of the major power centers, the control mechanisms for the way the world has operated, business and government and religion have been in a state of erosion, of shift, of crumbling. And those realities create this era, this environment of uncertainty. And we see that reflected right now. And so today I want to talk just briefly about the pillar of business, the pillar of corporations, the pillar of money, and how all of that is being asked to shift, or is shifting, I should say. And it's reflected right now. There's a bit of chaos reflected. Our understanding is trying to change about this. And as it changes, periods of change tend to be accompanied by a sense of uncertainty. Some people would call that chaos, and that leads to, in many cases, fear, right? So look at, for example, the Occupy Wall Street movement, which started in New York City and has expanded around the globe. So even as we speak, even as I shoot this video right now, people are marching in the streets of the financial centers of the entire world. To me, that reflects and suggests that we are indeed finally asking some big questions about, is it just business? It's just business. We've heard the words, it's not personal, it's just business. And frankly, many people have revolted over that. They have not liked the idea of the exploitation, and in some cases the brutality that we can employ under the guise, under the banner of, it's just business. Well, where did all this start, and why is it being shifted? Why is it asking to be shifted right now? From my perspective, all this started, well, not from my perspective, let's look back at history. If you look back when corporations were put in place and the purpose for which they were put in place, they were to act as fictitious persons. As the rule of law grew up in the early modern world, we needed these bodies which could incorporate, bring together a variety of people under the same common banner, right? So we started these things called companies, which could outlast the lifespan of any one human being and could continue on. They could raise up their own money. They could be held responsible for actions, right? And so this was a fictitious person. Therefore, it could act on the behalf of other people. What I find interesting is we have actually asked the companies which we've built to go do things for us, do things on our behalf, because they are not, as the law would say, they are not natural persons. These are fictitious persons, or moral persons, as they would say. In other words, they can be held under judgment, but they are not a natural person having a normal lifespan. Okay, it can continue on and it can do things which, a single human being could not do. And so we gain the benefit of power, we gain the benefit of collective energy under one roof, which exceeds what a single tradesman could have done, for example. But the other effect, the unintended consequence of this, is that when we're asking a fictitious person to do something for us, i.e. make something and garner profit, it becomes really easy for us to ask it to do things that perhaps we ourselves wouldn't do in our normal life. So, for example, you may be someone who is very kind and generous, and you wouldn't take advantage of your neighbor just because you could, just because it was legal. But perhaps we go and work for a company, and because of our position in the company, there are rules which says you will do this. This is your job description. Therefore, you're going to take advantage of people. You're going to, because we can say that this is actually legal, you're going to do this because we, the company, this fictitious person, we need the profit. We have determined this is why we're here. Do you see where that leads? It leads to a situation where people are no longer acting as natural human beings. We're asking ourselves, and we're asking these corporations which we have formed, to do things which we wouldn't want to do, we wouldn't want to have done to us, but somehow or other we justify it under the banner of it's just business. From my perspective, that's one thing the world is asking itself to change, to no longer allow these structures which we've created to brutalize us, to brutalize each other under the banner of it's just business and hey, it's legal so we can get away with it. No, I think we're asking ourselves to change that, and I think that's a good thing. What do you think? And how do we do this? How do we do this appropriately? How do we do it? I'll look forward to the conversation with you. Thank you very much.